You were here with By the Cover. Today I'll be reviewing the Cotton Candy Massacre Part Treats by Christopher Robertson. This is the third book in this series. This book was 313 pages and took me 2 days to read. I would rate this book a 5.5 out of 10. This review will contain spoilers, so if you do not want to hear those, click off now. The synopsis. The story chronicles a bizarre and brutal massacre that occurs on Halloween night in 1989, following a new cast of characters at the Hard Stack Halloween Festival. As far as my likes with the book, the warning page at the beginning, that was absolutely awesome. It set the tone perfectly and got me excited for what was coming. There were several standout characters in this book. Both Trent and Brad were great, offering a positive light, and I also liked Kitty's character and her tie-in with the Hardstack family. I also liked where Kitty's storyline ended up by the end of the book. Every scene with Bonkins was great. Hopefully he will appear more in the fourth book. Having a raccoon as a character was an off-the-wall choice, and I thought that fit the story very well. I liked the ending and the post-credit scene. The post-credit scene was my favorite part of the book. As far as my dislikes, this book jumps between too many disjointed characters, and it never spends enough time with any of them to really build a connection. You're constantly being pulled away just as something starts to get interesting. Because of that, it's hard to tell who the main character is, and that hurts the overall impact. If there is a primary character in this book, it is Hannah, from the second book in the series. She just does not work for me. She was the least interesting character in the second book, and that really hasn't changed here. Her character arc feels shallow, her motivations don't really make sense, and a lot of her decisions just come off as dumb. When your main character isn't compelling, it drags the entire story down. I was also expecting to follow one of the characters from the first book, and not a new one that was introduced in the second book. Since the primary character wasn't compelling, for me this book is my least favorite in the series so far. The story relies heavily on repeated cut-to transitions, with nearly every scene introduced the same way. What might have felt stylistic at first quickly becomes predictable and distracting, breaking the flow instead of enhancing it. I didn't buy Thad's reaction to his brother's death. It felt like he switched back and forth between not caring and being devastated. I absolutely hated the rock concert scene towards the end of the book. The scene just comes off as really silly at a point in the book where it should feel climactic. Luckily, other storylines were coming together and those balanced out, so the ending was still pretty good, but this scene certainly dragged the story down a bit. So overall, this one was a decent read, but my least favorite in the series. I'm looking forward to reading the last book in the series. That's about it. We'll catch you later.